Got my Ravens. Got my Ravens. You know that. Got my Ravens on today. Gotta enjoy my Ravens day. We're playing a couple of hours. Cash in hand. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all my financial literacy and legacy listeners, Facebook listeners, Instagram. Uh, what's the other one? Twitter. Everybody who's listening to what I have to share. I like to have fun too. Keep things live. Welcome to today's broadcast, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm a football fan. That's why I like to share my footballs. I'm a fan. I like to share things like that, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and ready for some great information about financial legacy. And today's broadcast, I always got good stuff. I always like to share. Is about success, and it's about being able to create goals. This is about goal setting. Goals are important. Goals help us achieve our objectives and set a precedence, set something in place for us to get things going for our business, for our lives, and getting the ball rolling for where we want to achieve. So these goals, let me get our message up here, and there we go. All right, that's our book there. Let's just get into the lesson. Okay, lesson 2 for the year: building financial legacy. Remember, the legacy model here shows us that we have uh, the knowledge, the wisdom comes in. We have our model in the middle, has a stewardship, money basics, investing, borrowing, protecting. We're going to look at that, and on a continuous basis, we have our action, knowledge, and behavior. And we want to change our behavior so we can recreate things. We have our behavior model, and that model, when we look at it, we want to be able to produce the actions. We want to look at an action that we're producing, make sure that producing the right financial effects. We want to look at how we're achieving those effects. And sometimes when we're looking at our actions and seeing how we're producing them, we have to take a look at what we're doing and making sure that those we're having the intended financial effects. And then after we look at the intended effects, we make sure the results of those first 2 questions are having the right monetary results, or there's enough of the monetary and flawed. Then we look at the confidence. Do we have confidence in those first 3 questions? Then they're not unrealistic. Make sure we're not trying to become a millionaire in the next minute. No, it takes time, right? And lastly, are we able to inspire others within our immediate community, immediate family, or our community to recreate those things that we've actually put in place for them, or be able to share? So we want to be able to inspire others to recreate what we've shared with them as well. Okay. So today, again, is about goals. We're going to look at these different aspects of goals: collaborate and support, measurable outcomes, adaptability, feedback, and reflection. So that's popcorn right there. It's supposed to be popcorn at least. I guess it's popcorn. Don't know. All right, here we go. Oh, all right. So for actionable financial literacy, just as a reminder, so it's more about learning financial concepts and terminology, uh, practical skills, and behavior. So this is where you can have informed decisions about your finances and your behaviors, because behaviors drive what you do. And at the same time, the context of everything is achieving long-term financial success, and you have those success strategies that are proven and time tested. So now we're going to have there are going to be 10 successful goals for strategies, uh, uh, successful goals for our strategies. Now, we may or may not get through all 10. If we don't get through all 10, like we said, next week we'll continue on to so we can finish them all. All right. So segment one talks about clarity and specificity. Specificity. Yeah. All right. Sometimes I had a rough time with words. I'm from the hood. No matter how much I've done to get it out, it's still in there. So this is like the William Tell thing, man. You got to have the goal, just like a target you're shooting for. So you have to define your goals and be clear and be specific about your details. One of the things that in the Word of God, the Bible says, God wants us to be specific when we ask for things. Like one time I had I wanted a car. I said, okay, God, I need a car. So when you say I want a car, you got to be specific with it. And I said I wanted a car, and that's when I had Jingle Jangle. Jingle Jangle was a cool car. I paid $1,000 for that bad boy, and I was like, "Yep, got a car. Worry about it." But that's later on, Jingle Jangle. Somebody ripped the radio on my ride, and then it caused the doorbell jingle to stay on because it messed up the electricity. That car sprung a leak, so I had a hot wired fan. The fan kept on. The passenger side door was a good thing I was opening the door for my wife anyway, but she couldn't get out the car, so I had to go always open the door. Like I said, it was a good thing I was opening the door. I opened the door for my wife from the day I met her. So it'll be 26 years in March, but I've always opened the door for her. So it wasn't a problem. I was doing it anyway, but still, she couldn't open it from the inside. But you know, I should have said, Lord, I wanted a Mercedes Benz, which I got later, but be specific in your goals. What do you want? So clearly understand and what needs you have to achieve to do that. So God will give you the desires of your heart, but you got to be specific with it, and He will tell you what you need to do to achieve those things. He'll tell you right off the bat, and then once you hear it, you'll say, "Are you sure?" He'll tell you. You may not want to believe it, but He'll tell you what needs to be done. So clarity and specificity is what you need when you're dealing with your goals. You got to You got to say it to yourself and then explain and then see it yourself. So be clear with it. All right. Next, objectives, relevance to the overall objectives. So got to be objectives, and the objectives are the how. So you gotta stress the connection between actionable goals and their broader objectives. And when I say actionable is derived from Chris Argyris. He's a Harvard University professor, and he's considered the father of actionable knowledge. And actionable knowledge is derived from research, and it's when you learn knowledge and it's created in a setting like a setting like now, but you take that knowledge and you're able to recreate that learning outside of where you learned it from. That's what makes it actionable. So what you learn here, not just reapply it, not just someone's able to recreate what they learned outside of where they learned it. So and then you ensure these goals align with your overall purpose and mission for your business, for your family, um, and they're able to recreate it. Um, my personal uses were I have advanced degrees, and all four of my adult children have advanced degrees as well. Even my stepdaughter. So, well, she's not my stepdaughter; she's my daughter. But she's seen me and her mom do it, and she did it as well. Which is my wife, So, uh, even though I'm not her daddy, but I'm her daddy. But she's seen us get there, and she did it too. And then my kids, they had no choice. But it's just you got to have the overall objectives and purpose, and the purpose for all that is so everybody can live up a profitable life, a prosperous life, and they wouldn't have to struggle. Because that's the way I wanted to be for them in life. All right, next, measurable outcomes. So you have to be willing to highlight the values and be able to highlight the growth in what you're trying to achieve. Because if you can't measure it, then you can't grow it. You don't know how you can grow it. If you get a if you have $1 a day and you don't have 20 years from now you still have that same dollar, that's no growth. That is no growth at all. If you live in if you live in well, how can I put it, man? I want to be nice. You still, if you're in the hood now, you're still in the same hood. Um, that's something to say about that. It's okay to be poor, but you don't want to be poor forever. You want to make it an adjustment. And in some places, sometimes people just like to live there, but that's okay. But you want to measure growth in yourself. You want to measure growth in your spirit. If you're still, uh, you know, you're still praying to God for the same thing or the same 20 years, and something's not right with it. God you should have progress in what you're getting and what you're doing. You're not asking for the same thing over and over again. The Lord wants to see progress in your life as well. Uh, Quantifiable results uh, can provide a sense of progress. See that increase in your life. You got to see that progress in your life. But if you're at the same place at the same time all the time, that means something has to change in your mind. There's some listening that needs to go on. Need to be some something that you quantify. You you have $1 now, you have 1,000 later. Progress. I had a jingle jangle. Then you have a nice car later. Progress. Um, you have plastic shoes at one point. Like I had, and I was trucking around this one corner. Trucking is running, and I slipped and fell. I was like, "Oh my god, man! How did I fall? I knew had some traction going on. For some reason, it was on. I, I was like, man, that around this corner, and I slid, and I looked at my shoes. They were plastic on the bottom. I was like, you know what? I'm not having that anymore. Now I got like, well, for a guy that's a lie, I got 30 pair of shoes. None of them got the plastic on the bottom. No plastic. So progress for me. So you got to show some progress for yourself at the same time. All right. So four, practice, make progress. So you got to keep practicing, keep doing it, keep moving ahead, keep doing something for yourself. Because if you're not practicing your thoughts, if you're not practicing your action, if you're not doing something each and every day to make yourself better, it ain't gonna change. If you're not gonna read a book, if you're not gonna attend a seminar, if you're not gonna listen to someone else to help you move, listen to somebody good though. Listen to somebody good. If you ain't gonna do that, it ain't gonna help you. So you gotta break down your goals into practical, achievable steps to get it going. Because if you don't, it ain't helping. You gotta do something and hear something that's going to make you want to change. Because if you don't listen or hear something to make you change, you ain't going. You got to take small steps. My mama used to tell me, you got to crawl before you walk, Joe. You got to crawl before you walk. And it's true. You got to do that. You got to take baby steps. Take them baby steps. Take them baby steps, and then you get up and then then you move. Because if you don't take the baby steps, and if you try to do too much too soon, yeah, you'll fall on your face, and then you get discouraged and say, "I can't do it. I can't do it." No, man, take baby steps first. Little steps towards the larger goal. Then take the larger goal. Then once you then you take the larger goals. So practice to make progress. Practice what you preach, and then so on. Now, it may sound goofy sometimes, but hey, I'm just a simple guy. I come from came from Baltimore, Maryland, 915 North Sticker Street, 21217. You can Google that and see what that house looks like now. If it's still there, you better do it quick, man, because they knocking down some houses in Baltimore. And they already knocked down the 1000 block. There's no houses. The 1000 block is gone, man. I can't believe they knocked down the 1000 block Sticker Street. But anyway, yeah, but it's gone. They knocked down the 1000 block. So you got to practice to make progress. When you practice, you make progress. When you practice, you make progress. All right? Steps, little steps. Read a book, take a class, go to a seminar, attend a networking event. All those things help. Do it consistently. If you're not doing it weekly, do it monthly, do it quarterly, but you got to do something. You can't sit and watch ESPN all the time or um, whatever podcast, man. I don't watch a lot. I watch TV. I take it back. I do watch TV, but I don't sit there and watch it all the time. I'm hustling, man. You got to get your hustle on, man. You can't just sit around and do nothing. You got your hustle on. All right. Segment 5, adaptability. You got to adapt. You got to adapt. So your goals need to adapt as well to the changing circumstance, because things happen. Financial crisis happened. Uh, uh, with my license and everything to do different, investments and mortgages and life insurance and legal protect. Nobody was buying nothing at that time. Nobody's buying nothing. So I had to shift my gears. I had to go into something else, and you know, that's when I actually created Blake Media. Was back in 2009 when that went on. I changed that. I mean, I'd look into my house, and actually in second, I think it's First Kings or Second Kings chapter 4. It talks about how the widow woman, went to the man of God back then and said, "Hey, my husband passed away. The creditors coming, and to take me, because they wanted their money, and they said they're gonna put me and my sons. They wanted their money from her." And Elijah told her, "Hey, what do you have in your house? All I have is some oil." And he said, "Okay, go borrow from your neighbors all the pots they have and everything, and go take your sons and you go in your house and pour all the oil in the pots that they give you." So Elijah didn't tell her to go get a job. Elijah didn't tell her go into farming, nothing like that, right? Elijah told her to go in a house with her son, so that it was a home-based family business. And that home-based family business went out and sold oil, and that's how they got out of debt. Home-based family business, and that home-based family business was her savior. She was able to get out of her situation that way. So in that case, uh, it was adaptability for that time, for that moment. And like this graphic right here shows you, it shows you summer, it shows you spring with the rain, and then it shows you winter, then it shows you the leaf there is harvest time. So no matter what's going on, this summers are gonna come, winters are gonna come, fall's gonna come. It's coming. Whether you like it or not, all those seasons in life and seasons and times are gonna come. You have to change, you have to change with the changes. You have to change. You have to move. You have to get around because it ain't gonna change. So you gotta be, you gotta assess what's going on, modify your goals when necessary to get ready for the adaptation and get ready for that change to happen. And because if you don't change, summer's still going to come. It's still going to be 110 degrees here in Phoenix real soon. So you got to adapt. Right now it is a little bit chilly. It's 59 degrees. This morning it was like, I think it was like 35. It was like, what in the world is, why is it 35 degrees here in Phoenix? That's just too much. But that's just how it is. It's just chilly here in Phoenix, and when it's chilly like that, you really can't do much. You say like, why is it so cold out here? Why is it that way? But that's just the way it is. So that's just the way it is. So I want to leave you with that. There's five more points we need to go over. I started a little late, so I don't want to keep everybody more than that 30 minutes because I should have started at 1. I mean 11, and got on a little late. So I want to keep it short. Give you some time to go be with your families. Um, and the game starts in an hour and a half or so. Uh, Go Ravens! If you're not a Raven fan, um, you can become a Raven fan. You know, that's okay with me if you join the Ravens. But outside of that, I want everyone to have a great and wonderful day. And we'll see you again next week. Same place, same channel here on Point with Dr. Joe Blake. Have a wonderful day.